Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Wednesday, December the 26th, 2012, the day after Christmas. I hope everybody enjoyed their holidays. And now we get back to go to work and kind of just a little bit because we've had a shortened week, so it's already Wednesday and this market's not had a lot to go on. And then next week we also have a day off because of the New Year, so this is going to be kind of a sporadic markets. But the main thing to think about the markets right now is the fiscal cliff, and that's really just stupid because eventually they're going to just kick the can down the road. There's no really other way for them to do it. We're basically sitting in Greece's position. Markets can't weather a tightening of the financial situation, and therefore if they were to do that, we go into recession. If we go into recession, then we put pressure on Greece and Spain and all the others, so they can't handle that, and so we're just kind of stuck here. Actually, the market's going to eventually have to I think value itself higher. The real situation we have going on right here, we had this uptrend going on. We had a stop set off this buy opportunity here. We've moved up here and then pulled back down and took out this stop. This is not really all that concerning for me. The main issue with this stop here, the reason why we get stopped is because we're in relation to this 50-period moving average. Typically you will find support there in a bullish uptrend. We pulled back to that. I believe you're going to find support here. You're going to dip a little bit lower probably, just kind of move sideways and start to find a little bit of support here. And the reason for that would be the 50-period moving average as well as the 200-period moving average as well as this previous little area of resistance, which is now going to be acting as support. All of that is going to be providing support to this market. So I just kind of see us kind of slowly moving lower and then off to the side as we wait for some kind of news out of Washington to see what we're going to do. And ultimately, I believe that will be to continue the status quo, which means we're currently undervalued compared to the global markets, and that means we should be moving much higher, taking out previous highs. So that would be a buy in my scenario. But I'll be waiting until I see a nice hammer candlestick formation before I buy this one again. One last item I'd like to draw your attention to regarding the Dow Jones Industrial Average. If you look closely at the low point here on the ultimate oscillator, you can see you pulled back down to the 40 line here, this little very faint line right there. And then if you were to actually look at the following one, it's a little bit higher, so you've got a little bit of an uptrend going on right there. The same time period on the corresponding chart, you can see that you have this low point here, low close, and then the current low close is down here, so we're actually drifting down. This is giving us a bullish reversal signal, basically. It's a bullish divergence, one of 4 different types of divergences, and that one, again, would be telling me the same thing, that we're overselling to the downside. Look for it to start to find a bid as people notice that and start buying it back to the upside. If you're not familiar with divergences, you can always go to the free website and watch the videos there. Quick glance here at the NASDAQ, same basic overall story. We've pulled back down here to the 50-period moving average as well as the 200-period moving average. We'll be finding support there. And again, we've got also the previous support here, here. All of that's going to be adding support as well. I don't see a lot of downside potential here as we wait for the unknown out of the fiscal cliff news, which eventually, like I said, I'm betting will go higher. You also can see that kind of signal on the chart here. You can see this previous high point here taking out a previous high was higher than this one, and then this low point here. Any pullback that we get here just gives us a higher series of highs, higher series of lows. We buy that scenario. But more importantly, if you can clean the chart up and look a little closer, you can see that you didn't have a shooting star. There's no signal here that we have massive sell pressure or anything of that nature. So actually all we're doing is pulling back ahead of the news on out of Washington. There's nothing actually fighting to the downside here. There's just nothing to fight there. As soon as that news comes out and they say, hey, we're going to keep the can down the road, or whatever they tell you, eventually that market's going to shoot much, much higher. One chart I'd like to be keeping an eye on this week would be the XOI oil index. So we traded this one alongside here. We got stopped out, and then we started moving higher, and we're now pulling back here. I like this pullback for an entry opportunity. I'm going to watch it for a nice hammer candlestick formation, hopefully at or below this 50-period moving average red line right here. That's where the best buy opportunities are in an uptrend, and with this high point here being taken out by this higher high, you are in effect in an uptrend. So this pullback is a great buying opportunity. Keep an eye on that. Also notice you've got 43 on the ultimate oscillator. We'll get a little bit any lower, we'll hit 30. That's where great buy opportunity as well in an overall uptrend. And again, keep an eye on this for any possible divergences that may be forming. The Russell 2000 Small Cap Index, we talked about this one over the weekend on Friday's market analysis. We told you any pullback here would, of course, be a buying opportunity because you have this high point here, higher high here, low point here. That means you have higher highs, you're going to have higher lows, and you have a pullback that doesn't take out this low, and that's would take some serious doing to take out that low. So any pullback down here to the 50-period moving average or below it with a nice hammer candlestick formation is going to be a great buying opportunity. So keep an eye on this. Quick glance here at the SPX or the S&P 500. We've had a nice little gain on this one. We didn't advance the stop, and so we may actually end up getting stopped out on this one simply because of the location of the stop to the in relation to the 50-period moving average. We could get stopped out. We're game with them 5 points of doing that today, so keep an eye on it. But if we are stopped out, again, the same overall story still applies. High point here, higher high here, low point here, higher low somewhere else, and it's going to give us a series of higher highs, higher lows. You want to be a buyer in that scenario. One last item I'd like to point out here regarding the S&P 500. If you actually move on down and look at the accumulation distribution line, you'll notice, let me get this just right, okay? You will notice that whenever you're looking at the accumulation distribution line, you can find divergences there as well sometimes. So keep an eye on that, and you'll notice the previous high point here has already been tested and breaking out here on the accumulation distribution line. So that would again be telling you to look for us to take out the previous highs on the price activity, which we've already seen happen with all of the global markets. So again, with all U.S. markets, I'm seeing the U.S. markets being hesitant to move higher ahead of the fiscal cliff, but when reality sets in and we do see that resolve, we'll take out this previous high here, which means we'll be moving like that. Looking now at the Wilshire 4500, the EMW, on this one we did advance the stop to this point here, but unlike the S&P 500, so we are sitting in cash in this current scenario here. Continue to watch this for a pullback. You may get a pullback all the way to the 50-period moving average. If we get a nice hammer candlestick formation, I'll be re-entering this trade because the overall pattern is still very bullish. If you've not been to the free website at perfectstockalert.com, it's right there. It's 100% free. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Also, over the weekend or the holiday, we finished the balance sheet section here, tutorial section there, so check that out. You guys, by the way, if you look here, you won't see this. This is something online I can see right now because it's not finished. When it's finished, it'll be available to you as well, but the balance sheet and income statement are already finished, and we finished this one over the weekend. So God bless, take care, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.